No!
Are we not? Is the audio?
Okay. Now we're back.
Hi!
Hi!
You heard none of that.
You guys could fill in whatever you think we were saying. If you can read lips, that'd be really cool.
If you want to take the footage of us talking and dub in what you think we.
That would be so cool. That would be awesome.
I would want.
That would be
oh
awesome.
my god, that'd be so. Please do it. Now we really want you to do that.
Well, you guys, welcome to Henshin Hangout. We're here. You're spending your Saturdays with us, so thank you for that. I've messed that up. It's been so long.
Man, you're getting rusty.
It's so long. It's been so long. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us, and
we appreciate it.
Yes. Well, kind of salvage that a little bit.
Yeah.
So, Justin, how you been doing?
I have been good. It's been a fun day for me. If you follow me on Instagram at Justin Quiz, you would have known that I went to the Kaiju vs. Heroes exhibit in Little Tokyo.
Ooh.
It is a exhibit from that's basically showcasing the art and collection of artist Mark Nagati.
Okay.
And it was a lot of fun. A lot of really great old Toku toys he had in his collection. A boatload of Ultraman toys.
Yeah.
He's got a vinyl suit of Ultraman. It is...
Was there a performance or any, like, music?
Nothing like
food,
that. Nothing like that. But it was a nice, cool exhibit. It's available $12 at the Japanese American Heritage Museum in Little Tokyo.
That is awesome.
A lot of fun, and definitely a really great context of exploring, like, Asian American perspective on why you, like, for me, for sure, it's like realize, like, as an Asian American, as a Filipino American, finding identification in tokusatsu superhero shows and seeing something that's different, unique in the Japanese superhero genre, and then also they don't look like an American, they don't look like a white blonde guy, they look like someone who's closely looks more like me, and that was definitely a story that was told in the exhibit. And no, it's a great exhibit. Definitely check it out.
That's
I
one
highly
of the things
recommend
that we're pretty spoiled here in Southern California. We have access to a lot of those type of things, especially in Little Tokyo.
Absolutely.
If you love Toku stuff, it's filled with it.
It's filled with it. Yeah.
Filled with it.
Also, hey, because I went to a little store in Little Tokyo called the Jungle, and I got myself an old school,
pretty cool looking Kamen Rider.
Old school Kamen Rider figure.
Is he organic? Is he a lizard?
He is. Yes. His name is Kamen Rider Amazon.
Ooh.
And he literally rips arms off monsters.
That is cool.
It's rad.
Does his mouth move?
Yes, it does.
Oh my gosh.
Or as much as he can, because
What year did this come out in Japan?
Some rounds. I'm not 100% on the year. It's around the 70s. But
wow.
This is old school classic Kamen Rider.
That is awesome.
And he's rad. Do check out Kamen Rider Amazons if you haven't seen it yet. And he's one of my favorite weird Kamen Riders.
Something you shared on Instagram, a cosplayer that makes Kamen Rider cosplays. He's actually very talented.
He is very good. Kamen Rider Ichigo, or KRDR Ichigo on Instagram. All his stuff homemade. The first year I saw him was at Japan World Hero 2 years ago.
Oh, really? Wait, Japan World Heroes it's 2 years.
It's like it's every year when more Con doesn't happen.
This year.
So there'll be one this year. And the first time I saw him, he made a cardboard Kamen Rider Ichigo costume.
Okay.
That was very impressive, and every year he gets more and more elaborate. And now this year, you probably saw the picture you saw was him in his Kamen Rider black outfit.
That's awesome.
And he made it. It's gorgeous. He did a great job.
There's definitely a lot to say for someone that makes things from scratch.
Like, absolutely.
It may not look perfect or screen accurate, but the level of dedication to making it, it shows. Their love for Toku shows. Their love for Kamen Rider shows.
You understand that. And when you make your costumes, when you made your first few suits, like, what kept you going? Even the fact that, like, that, like, it's made out of cardboard or it's made out of foam. It's not
definitely it's the love for it. So if you don't have that, if you don't have that kind of motivation to keep going because you want to create something that amazing, it's not gonna come out how you want it. You gotta really love what you're making.
Like you can't stress on it being perfect, basically.
No. I mean, come on. A lot of the Power Ranger community fans know that I made the Alpha cosplay. That was all duct tape and foam, like gold duct tape. I went to Walmart. The Walmart lady kept asking, "Why you keep buying gold duct tape? Why don't you just get the regular gray one?" I'll show you later.
And I remember and I took a picture with you that year.
That is so crazy. Such a small world. I mean, we're in Southern California.
We were in Southern California. We were both at MorphCon, but I remember taking a photo with you. And you're right. Even though like I saw, and it wasn't like it looked like you came out of the show 100%.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I was like, hey, this guy dressed up as Alpha. That's awesome.
So let's see who's in the chat. We got the Blur, Toku Kid, Thomas Franco, Ukiya Senpai, Deca Master fan, Mr. Quarth. Got Tokyo Edward Sanchez, Deca Master fan, Kamen Rider, and Nathan Ariando, Jared, and Layla.
All right.
You guys.
Hey guys.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. What do you want to start off first?
Why don't we go ahead and discuss what is going on with Lupat?
Oh my god.
What you got in your brain right now?
It was I mean, the last episode, we saw that Noel kind of just give himself up. So give himself up to Gouge.
Yeah.
So it was really cool seeing the camaraderie with the team. As far as even the PATORANGERs, they're like, you know what, we got to save them. So it was really nice seeing that. You kind of got to see a little of their acting chops a little bit. They're a little more serious.
Yeah, for sure.
And then one of my favorite things about this episode is Umika has like a plan. She has like what she envisions how things are going to end after all the collection pieces are back and when their family is back, and she wants to continue working at this place with the whole family and have the cops be regular customers. So it's nice to see that they see an end to this road.
Right.
But obviously, by the end of this episode, things have changed.
Right. It's man, like I knew we were gonna get to the finish line.
Yes.
Right. And one of the big things about one of the high concepts of the show is the idea that the Lupinrangers are hiding their identity from everybody.
And I was wondering when they were gonna reveal it.
And there was even a point watching the show where I'm going, what if they don't?
And I would totally have been fine with that.
But no, this is the episode where they actually finally had to be confronted with the decision of do we or do we not.
One thing though, I may have missed it. What motivated them to reveal themselves? Did he say, if you don't reveal yourself, I'm going to straight up just kill Noel right here?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's especially I want to point out, Noel is in the classic questionable Toku use of putting somebody in a cross. It is.
It's been used before.
Oh man,
I think we saw it in Kyuranger.
We did.
We saw it in Kyuranger.
It's a time-honored tradition. I should probably make a collection, and you should probably look at me, follow me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll make a collection of a bunch of times where the cross is used in a very uncomfortable way in Toku shows, from Kamen Rider, from Ultraman to Sentai. Like you said, Kyuranger used it. They do it clearly till now, and every time they do it, I went, well, I mean, I'm glad that's consistent.
Yeah.
40, 50 years on, you still make it a little awkward.
So pretty much this episode was their swan song a little bit. It's kind of like what would I compare it to as far as it's kind of like when Batman revealed himself to like Gordon and Catwoman at the end of it. Like it's just like, oh, there's nowhere else to go. I'm back into this corner. And
especially because it's another case where it's like Gouch is like not even that. Like they're transmitting it, and the world knows. Yes. The world will know if they do it or not.
I think it's funny that a lot of those people. Oh, those are the people at that that one restaurant in all of Japan. We all go to that restaurant. But they don't because it's empty all the time.
Like, oh yeah, no. We always watch them when it's the off hours. No, I mean, here's the great thing about the reveal. I feel, of course they're gonna do it.
Yes.
But one of the things I love about the reveal,
I love this scene where they didn't show the helmets first.
That's a classic.
That's a classic.
I keep bringing this is the thing. Every time you watch a Sentai show, there's always that moment where you wonder when are they going to do a helmet off in the show. Which I mean by that, obviously, I mean when the helmets aren't going to be worn, but we see the actors in the suits, and it's always the thing I look forward to. And sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes they'll do it in the show. Sometimes they'll do it in one of the special movies that's available on DVD or Blu-ray. But it's always a fun treat to see, oh, when are you going to do this bit? When are you going to have them not wear their helmet? But this is one of those cases where I really feel like this is a moment where it feels like it works the best for me because their identity is secret. And also, this is great. When they do the line of, like, we're the thieves that everyone's talking about after they take their masks off.
You got a little grin, a little smile.
I did. Yeah. And I love, too, what that line's been used since the beginning of their introduction, right? Since their very first show. And so the idea that, like, now it really comes... That line's even got more impact because it's them revealing who they are and going, we're the thieves.
Yes.
That everyone's talking about. And it's almost... I almost want to wonder, if, like, imagine if, like, was that line... Because it almost feels like it's such a perfect way to use that line that they say every episode, every time they show up, that I'm wondering... Was that line, like, reverse engineered? Did the writer think...
Yeah, it's like, at the reveal of the Lupinrangers, we want, some big line at the end, and then let's keep going back to it. It's kind of like with Endgame.
Yeah.
With the title for Endgame.
Sure, yeah. No, exactly. Also, don't forget, folks, if you want us to read your comments or questions, don't forget to do the super chat.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. That way you can see it right away, and we can answer it or just read it right off the bat. Yep. Don't forget those super chats.
Yeah. Another thing that I really liked about it is Toma and Kairi, before they decided to make the reveal, they looked to Umika first.
Yeah.
As if, like, we're on board with this, but we all have to be on board.
Right.
So they had a scene where they're just both looking at her and it's like, what do you want to do? And she had to, make the decision that we're backed into a corner. There's nothing else we can do. Let's just go for it.
Right.
Let's just go for it. Do you think there's anything that you feel like they lost when revealing themselves to the community?
Obviously the privacy. And also it's good to know that, like, Umika...
What's so different with the PATORANGERs, though?
Because it's one of those cases where it's like, since they're known cops.
Yeah.
And they are known to be as part of the special unit of cops. So, they didn't have to worry about secret identity because it's like everyone knows who they are. They're the cops who have the special suit armor up. Also, I do find it hilarious that the mask reveal, obviously, since episode 1, the joke is like, if you look at them long enough, you can tell it's the guys.
Exactly. If they're standing right there, it's clearly them.
But there is, of course, a line.
It's that Clark Kent thing.
It's not just that. There's a line, if you remember the auction episode. It's a throwaway, hey, we gave you the answer why no one figured that out line, in which Noel goes, thankfully, with the masks we designed, no one can clearly identify our faces. It's such superhero BS. I love it, but it's straight superhero BS.
It's straight up like Robin from Batman and Robin.
Yeah, it's like, well, if you can see the floppy hair.
Yeah, that's right. But I did like that. I did like that towards the end when they met up. They've always had like this little truce, like, oh, you guys are kind of like vigilantes, but we'll work with you for the common good.
Yeah.
And I was hoping. We don't even know though, because once they finished off Gouge, they just left.
Yeah.
We don't know what the real the cops are actually gonna do. As far as like whether they're gonna arrest them, have a conversation with them. What do you think they were gonna do?
Oh, after
all said and done, Gouge is dead. They come back down. They meet back up with the PATORANGERs. What do you think they would have done?
That's a thing. Like I think even they're not sure what they're gonna react. I maybe there's a part of me that thinks maybe Cage would have even let them go.
Really?
I think so. He's
it would have been like that Paul Walker Vin Diesel scene at the end where he kind of walks away.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Well. But Point Break, where Keanu knew he had to let go. Yes, it is both Point Break and Fast and the Furious, because all of the PATORANGERs is Keanu or Paul Walker.
Yes, it is Keanu and Paul Walker.
How do you feel about the Sakia right now? How do you think he's dealing with?
He's super conflicted, but for me, I feel like. If you examine what the Lupinrangers are actually doing, they're helping still. It's vigilante work. I feel like does he see the world so black and white that he doesn't he can't accept that she's on that side.
Yeah, of course. That's absolutely. I think that's the thing. That's what makes Sakuya kind of naive and why he's the youngest member of the group. You know, there's a moment.
Do you feel like the other two are on the same page as him, or do you feel like they're a little bit more accepting?
Definitely a little bit more accepting, but you can still see the conflict in them.
Yes.
One of the things I really love about the reveal and how Sakuya deals with it is that Sakuya, he can't even look at Umika.
Yeah.
Like, he understands they have to finish the job, they have to finish the fight, but he could barely look at her. And
I thought that was because she
yeah.
lied to him. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he felt like they were on the same page. They were kind of like friends, and and fact
maybe
that,
more he was hoping for.
Yeah, and the fact that she couldn't tell him the truth.
Yeah,
he's a little hurt by that.
And he stood up for her.
Yes.
And kept saying no, impossible. That can't be right. And I loved.
So it's a farther fall for him.
Exactly.
Versus for Kiichiro and
Tsukasa.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I love about, because he's got to process it.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a while for him to really, really understand how he's got to feel about it. And I really love that. Even in the suit, you can tell that Sakuya is like, it's like, okay, fine, yeah, we'll finish it. Let's just go, or we'll take care of this.
Yeah,
like, okay, like you can tell he's like, I can't even do this right now.
Can we talk about the scene where the Dom took all of Gouge's and the other monsters' pieces? Like, oh, you're on your own. You're on your own.
Yeah.
So we know that one of his pieces, or a few of his pieces, has that ability to control other collection pieces.
Right.
Why hasn't he used that on the Rangers? He could easily just get it.
You're right.
Yeah. Were you able to decipher any of the collection pieces just from looking at them?
Oh, right off at the top of my... I
saw Saba.
You saw Saba, yeah. It's a little trickier, and especially because they're all kind of cobbled up together. Yeah. If you guys do know, and you can definitely identify what's on the screen right now, I think maybe I see it. I see a Q Ranger thing. I think
I see an SPD morpher.
Yes, I think you're right.
Omega. You see, look at that little spaceship thing. That's from Power Rangers in Space.
Or Tokuger. That could be a train.
Yeah.
That could be a train.
So that's interesting. If you guys can decipher what these things are, hit us up on THS Hashtaggers, our Facebook group, where you guys can continue the conversation from the chat after the show is over, and we would like to see who gets the most pieces right.
That'd be fun. Awesome. Please do. Okay. Gouge does do one hardcore move before she goes.
What's that?
She pulls out her safe.
It's like a no.
Screw you. You're gonna die. If I'm gonna die, you're gonna die. And she just shoves it into the, I guess, like a round 2 version of the hamster monster.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a pretty
Don't forget THA's hashtaggers.
He's a pretty cool gangler, though. I like the look. He's scary. He's a scary looking gangler.
No. And I was a big fan of him when he first showed up, and I mean, it's kind of a bummer. It's just now a suit.
Yeah.
So it's just a suit. Let me ask you a question. Right now, obviously, the big final push before they destroyed the monster was like everyone used all their super power-ups and weapons, etc. Do you miss the days of the giant bazooka blaster stuff, like the power blaster in Power Rangers, or the howling blaster?
But do you remember? With those days, it became super repetitive, though.
Of course, that's true.
Super repetitive. While I like the blast, I do enjoy, and our producer Nagami loves it too, the Magnum gun. I think that's.
Yeah.
I feel like they don't use it as much as they should.
And they don't use it in the way that it was used in the first time.
In the very first time, it looked super OP. Like, it was blasting through mountains.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if there's like a setting. It's like, oh, we gotta turn it down to like 5. It's a little too much overkill.
We can't blow up a mountain every time.
Because I feel like that gun, it would just like kill every gangler it comes across.
Right.
And I don't know. I feel like it's super overpowered, but I feel like they're holding back a little bit.
When you start with the first setting of the weapon being like mountain destroying, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe like, ease into it. It's like, hey, wait, there's actually the secret switch. Yeah, maybe that's a bit much.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a bit much.
But yeah, I do miss like a power cannon, gun or something like that. But I feel like it will get pretty repetitive.
And it did. You know what? You are right. It does get pretty repetitive, and already we deal with repetitiveness which still happens in this episode, when a monster dies and then grows and then
I'm gonna be honest. Every time that happens, I just skip right through to the end part. So
that's where I realized I've grown up a tad. Where it's like as a kid,
like I can't sit through this anymore. I can't do it.
Well, no, it's like as a kid, like robots. I love giant robots. As an adult, I went, this really adds nothing to the story.
Imagine having a conversation with your younger self. Why are you skipping this? What are you doing?
What? No, we always watch this part. I mean, yeah, but don't you realize it's essentially the same thing
like
every
you talk
time?
to your kids like, oh, it's 1993. Look, he's doing the same exact thing. Look at this. Look at this.
It's literally just the same footage of the sword swipe. What? It's the same thing.
My friend made the cosplay two Power Morphicons ago. He got so tired. His arm got super tired of doing that same move over and over and over again. Everybody like, do the slash. Like, damn it.
And then
the same exact move.
Eventually he should be like, how about this? I will film it and then just give it to you guys.
I'll just text it to you.
Yeah, no, it's the same.
It's the same move. I mean, obviously with the new series, the fight scenes are a little different. And, you know, it's CGI but it's still like the end result is still the same.
It's still the same.
It's still the same.
Yeah.
So, you know, it just kind of like, you know, skip through it.
Right.
Skip through it.
But this we're ending.
It is.
It's ending.
And I'm very impressed of how it's going.
It's got one more to go. Apparently, folks point out it's got one more to go.
One more episode?
Apparently, it's got one more episode to go. I thought I heard it was going to be 51 eps, but let me double check or something. But either regard, we're still wrapping up to the end.
Yeah.
And you brought up a good question before we recorded, so I'm going to now bring it up to you, and you can answer. What do you think is going to happen with Zamigo and the main and the Don? The Don.
Because leading up to this, they've just been like, you know, taking care of each and one of them. Like they're just going up the food chain.
Right.
They're going up the chain of command. At first it was the other guy, then now Gauch. Real.
Wiki says 3-parter, so 51.
51. We still got. I heard because I heard it was gonna be 51 episodes, so we still got a while.
Yeah.
At least up to February.
So there's two more. There's 2 more ganglers. Main ganglers.
Main ganglers, yeah.
So like, it would be Zamigo next, going up that chain of command. But I feel like that's not what's gonna happen. I think Zamigo. Because we still don't know what his deal is.
Right.
We honestly don't know what his deal is.
Right.
I think that he's going to turn on his boss.
Definitely.
I think he's going to turn on his boss. He's a selfish little ice creator monster. We don't know where their family members are. Because we know that after he shoots the gun, they go somewhere. They don't die. They don't die. So they're somewhere.
They're somewhere, yeah.
So he is...
And that's why you're my boss.
I did like that. He was just walking around. That is a really big hat, too. I want to find a hat that big and just walk around. Like, that is just ridiculous how big that hat is.
I'm always a big fan of his poncho. It's just like, it's just whatever, yeah. He's got this weird... Or his
Cruella de Vil hair.
Yeah, he's got this Cruella de Vil hair because, that's the ice part.
Yeah.
No, I think you're on... I feel like that's probably the more obvious route, because of the fact that, like, the biggest complaint we do have on this show with them is that they are very underdeveloped.
Yeah.
And Zamigo literally disappeared for 3 months, but right now...
He's back,
and I feel
like he's the end boss.
Right? Yeah. I feel like right now, it's like, if he can be exciting and ruthless with these next 3 to 4 episodes... then I feel like that would be not forgiving of the 3 months he disappeared.
Yes.
But we'll have a better memory of him when the show wraps up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I mean, how do you anticipate this ending?
Well, okay. Besides the villain situation, for sure, it's
going to be a pardon.
I think something like that.
A pardon. There's going to be some form of pardon.
If we see a little bit of the clip for the next week's episode, Keiichiro is telling Kairi he wants to help her. So already, we already are seeing that Keiichiro already knows that they are more than just simple... Yeah,
thieves.
Literally right there.
And they're stealing back their own stuff.
Yeah.
They're stealing back their own stuff.
I think that's the thing, is we were talking about, like, how they're not really stealing anything, really. But they're criminals. But you did
they're just operating outside of the law, and that's
still illegal.
Yeah, that's still illegal.
The word you used correctly was vigilante. and that is still something that they could still be arrested for. You know, despite the fact that they're called the Thief Rangers. But no, I also kind of point out. I mean, that's where we'll probably have this. We'll talk about this next week. But I do like that nice backlit shot.
Yeah,
it's very nice, very like operatic and like dramatic cop show thing.
Yeah,
and
I do like it. I do like it.
So I'm looking forward to see how this scene's gonna play out. But yeah, no, we're gonna definitely get them to. We're gonna definitely get. I think it's gonna be for sure. They're gonna become a unit for sure.
Yes.
Also, possibly find out that finally Keiichiro is our Saint Lupat.
Yes! That's why he's so accepting of it. That's why he's gonna help him. Because you're doing my job. But honestly, though, if that was the case, I mean, Noel would know what he looks like, though, right? So
I mean, yes, that is the one thing
that holds back that theory.
Hold back that theory, but we will see. We got a super chat.
Hey, Toku Kid says, how can they arrest them and not the other Sentai?
The other Sentai don't exist, Toku. It's just the Lupinranger and the PATORANGERs. That's the rules of these shows.
Sentai logic.
Until crossovers.
Yes. So
the other shows don't exist until we decide to do a crossover, and then we'll acknowledge their existence.
So now it's time for our favorite part of this episode. Let's rate it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's rate it. If you guys put your rating down in the chat, like always. I would give this episode, out of 7, a 5.5.
5.5?
Yeah, 5.5.
Pretty good. I will give it a good solid 6.
Ooh!
It's I love the reveal. The reveal and how everyone's dealing with it. Yeah. So I'm very happy with this episode.
I'm very happy with it, too.
Audience scores, don't forget. Please tell us.
Put your scores in the chat. There's a little bit of a delay, so we're gonna have to wait for them to show that. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I like when I first started the series, I was still high on Q Ranger.
Of course,
high on Q Ranger. So it took a little adjustment. The Blur says 6 out of 7.
Okay.
Tokyo says, well, the crossover as soon as it ends has Lupat red out of 5. Man, they're getting too creative with these things. Hodges, Jared Hodges 6.
Thank you for doing this. Because here's the thing. Continue reading. Read your thing, but I want to bring up why I'm so
Franco,
happy with
5
this.
out of 7. Sampere Forever 6 out of 7. Nathan Arendo 6 out of 7. Ukiya Senpai 7 out of 7.
Ooh,
Mr.
nice.
Pop 5 out of 5. Deca Master says R.I.P. Umika Sakuya. Let's not count that out yet.
No. Don't. That ship hasn't sailed the well quite
yet.
yet.
That ship has not sailed. Layla 6 out of 7.
I love one of the things that this show doesn't hide is that it's clearly Lupin the Third as a Sentai show, and if you're a fan of the anime Lupin the Third, I think that's one of the reasons why this show is sort of hilarious. It's like it's Lupin the Third just enough without being sued, And yes, like the fact is that Keiichiro is wearing the biggest trench coat.
I have one of those. I might wear it tomorrow,
dude.
Because I may have a special secret cosplay I might be bringing. Yeah.
What? At what convention?
Pasadena Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So if you guys are in the Southern California area, you guys want to hear the hashtag team talk about how to break into the geek media, come to Pasadena Comic-Con. It's gonna be fun.
We'll be there. Check out the panel. It'll be fun. We'll just be walking around too. Yeah. But yes, no. It's a shame you couldn't find a picture of Lupin the Third with his red jacket because that's super. But this is a great shot.
This is great.
Oh, hey, boom! That's right. Don't forget.
January 27, 2019.
At the Pasadena Convention Center.
Sunday.
None of us are Patrick Owsley, but thank you, Patrick Owsley, for that art. But yeah, no, it's. I think that's so. Yeah, like the fact of that matter is like, have you seen any Lupin the Third episodes?
No, I have not.
You should definitely check those out. They're a lot of fun.
Are they updated? Like, have they kept going up to like the 90s?
It's one of those anime franchises that will always like. Every 20 years they'll do another one, but definitely the one I would suggest is if you watch the one in the 70s, which is where the string grab I think came from in the 80s. That's this is from Castle College. Okay, that's from the movie you can find on Netflix.
Woo!
You can watch that movie on Netflix.
Nice.
So Spielberg is a big fan of this movie.
Oh,
I want to
why
point
have
that
we
out.
not seen a live action movie then?
There is a live action Lupin the Third. I haven't seen it.
No, you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. I heard it wasn't that great, but I'm still gonna watch it.
Okay.
There it is. Lupin the
Look
Third.
at that, Jack. Why is he writing him like that?
Because it's funny.
Okay.
No,
Yep.
I'm so happy you did this, producer. Thank you so much. That makes me so happy because I've been bringing up the Lupin the Third connection since I started this, the reviews of these shows.
Is it time? Is it time?
Yes.
It is time.
It is time.
Let's jump into Kamen Rider Z.
Zio!
Or should we start calling it Kamen Rider Gates?
He is definitely leading the charge on this. He's, by the way, the bottom dude.
Cool guy.
Cool guy. Kamen Rider. He's a new Kamen
Quiz.
Rider. Kamen Rider Quiz.
Kamen Rider Quiz.
Kamen Rider Quiz. Hey! Oh, shit. Sorry for the cursing. I didn't, but that's a good point.
The suit looks cool.
His suit looks cool. Also, that actor who plays him is the actor who plays Hiromo from Go Busters.
Ooh.
He's the Red Ranger in Go Busters. So
Wow. Do you think anybody notices? Few people, maybe? Few? Because that show came out 2007?
2012, 13.
Okay.
So his show is the one that came after Go Kaiger.
Okay.
I know. And if you have not seen Go Busters, I mean, you're probably trying to now
yeah.
because Beast Morphers will
Hey,
be
that's
coming
the gun
out.
that Nagami has.
Yeah. You're probably gonna watch it. You're probably watching it now, if not haven't seen it yet, or you're getting ready to, or you've already seen it because
you gotta prepare yourself for Beast Morphers.
Exactly. By the way, I just finished Go Busters.
And
this week, it's great.
So, do you think it'll easily be translated for Go Busters and be very good?
Honestly, I remember when I heard they skipped over this show, and I started watching the show when they skipped over the show for Power Rangers. I started watching it.
Yeah.
I honestly was thinking, that's kind of a shame. This was easy.
Easy.
This is
because
easy
they
for you
literally
guys.
say morphin time.
They do morphing time. There's a lot of American aesthetics in this show,
yeah.
and like there were a couple even times for funsies. I would look at the scenes and I went, hey, there's not like a ton of Japanese writing in the background to confuse it for footage.
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely fun.
You could definitely do it, but we're not here to talk about Go Busters. We are here to talk about Kamen Rider Geo and
Kamen Rider Quiz. I do like the little X and O aesthetic that they got. It kind of reminds me of the. Was it SPD or?
The Judgment thing.
Yeah, the Judgment thing.
From Deca Ranger.
And he was just messed. This is probably my favorite part of the episode where he's like, "Oh, am I gonna kick you? Yes. Oh, I'm gonna punch you. Yes."
I do like the bit where Sogo is kind of like going like,
"Please say no. Please say no.
Please say no. Please say no."
That was fun. That was fun. I do like seeing these new. I like seeing these new writers and how it throws them off because they don't have a connection to the present that they can't, they can't really use them. Only Waz.
And especially us too. It's like for me as a guy who knows quite a bit about Kamen Rider, I'm kind of having fun with all right, let's pretend.
Because we don't have to know the past.
I don't have to know the past. I don't gotta be all complaining that you're not following the narrative of the other show.
They're like, please say no. Oh, that was funny.
I'm actually really digging what's going on with Waz right now.
Waz?
Yeah.
How about with Gates?
Also, good still grab of Gates.
Go back to that one. He's like,
I'm actually quite digging what's going on with Waz right now because Waz, or I guess we're calling him Black Waz.
Black Waz and another
White Waz.
Oh man.
Which I'm sitting there going like, first off, Black Waz does not have nearly enough black on him. But I'll go with it.
It was
Sogo.
It was Sogo.
Sogo named him Black Waz.
He's just lazy.
But I like that Black Waz, who's the Waz we've been following since episode 1, is in such a huge struggle.
Yeah.
I like that he's kind of like constantly off his game.
Do you feel like this divide that they have between the team is gonna stay like that?
Not for a while.
Not for a while.
If anything, like
because they visually showed it, like Waz and Sugo are together, and then the other two are with another Waz or White Waz.
Can't point out like calling him Black Waz and calling him a White Waz. I was kind of sitting there going like, why wasn't he just called another Waz?
I don't know.
You've been doing this the whole show, right?
Yeah.
Like
I don't like that another title.
That's fair. That's fair. But it is interesting to see how this White Waz is Beret. I don't want to call him Beret Waz. To be fair, I think he's Beret or fancier Waz.
Yeah.
Fuzzy hat Waz.
French Waz. He's French Waz.
French Waz.
Oui, mon ami.
I kind of like the fact that like I don't know what the Waz that we've been following is really gonna do next. You know what I mean?
He's a little lost.
Yeah, and that's kind of refreshing on that character. Like, he's usually on top of it.
Other than the new, we hear the story about Quiz and why he's there and wanting to talk to his dad.
Yeah.
What other parts of the story do you feel like is crucial going into the second part of this?
I mean, this is the thing that's kind of throwing me off about this episode is that they decided to, for this time out, another writer could coexist while the writer that he's another of is still around. I'm a little thrown off on what that rule. It seemed like they just kind of...
We need to make like
I'm a little thrown off.
With Photoshop where we put like the words time travel and just put it in a dumpster.
That's...
Every single time. Like, oh, they got it. They're kind of getting it. They're getting time travel. Next episode. What are you guys doing, man?
I'm a bit confused. If you were following it, that's great. I definitely... I'm not sure what's going on here. But... regardless of that, what about you? What do you think right now is happening in terms of like the narrative and
I like seeing. I think the most interesting thing that I like about this now is seeing Waz and seeing like how lost he is.
Yeah, I love that.
Like he feels like he had failed because there's this prophecy from the new future that Gates actually takes down Omazeo.
Right.
And it's definitely putting a strain on their friendship, even though. He just wants to say, like, what, roommates or something? Yeah. We're just roommates. We're not friends. Not friends.
Uncle is so understanding of every situation.
He lets too many people into that shop, and he's so accommodating, like, way too accommodating.
Well, yeah, like, all of a sudden, next scene, like, they're right now, like, Uncle is, like, having, like, a quiz, like, having a fun quiz trivia night with this stranger.
Yeah.
And then, all of a sudden, the next scene, we see that he's sleeping over? What? Did I miss that scene? Like, what happened?
He was tired. He's like, oh, you took too many quizzes. You just.
Oh man, I understand when I have a bender of too many quizzes. Yeah. I too get very exhausted, and I want to sleep over at someone's house that I've never been to before, and I've never seen before. Yeah, because it's like, he's very assuming to think that he's Sogo's friend, because all of Sogo's like, oh, wait, I recognize you. And he's like, oh, he's a buddy of yours? Come on in, have lunch, let's play a game, sleep over.
That's definitely going to be his downfall. In the future, it's going to be his downfall. He's going to be one of the time jackers. He's feeding them dinner, and then they kill him, or something. Or they turn him into another rider.
I mean, unless, of course, it's all his plan, because he's the villain.
Ooh.
And he's doing this intentionally. He knows exactly who
he knows what he's doing.
I may still have to eat hot wings because I was wrong about episode 16, but that doesn't mean I'm not possibly still going to be right later on.
Maybe. But when Johnny comes back for that Lupat finale, you're going to eat some hot wings.
Yeah, no, I know.
I saw he was on Amazon looking for spicy sauces. Though.
What?
I'm excited.
What thing is going on? This bit was really cool. I want to point out when Hora like freezes time and then like pushes them to rider kick each other. Which again, I'm saying that's great. How come you don't do that more often?
I feel like the time jackers have all these powers, but they use them the wrong way. Like totally the wrong way. It's like they're playing chess, and they don't want to win. They just want to keep. What they're doing is they keep moving that pawn back and forth, back and forth. It's like you could actually be taking some people down.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's like, no, stop moving the pawns. You can move clearly more like powerful pieces.
I feel like they're like constantly preheating the oven and then like turning it off and preheating it. We're definitely gonna cook something up. Never mind. No.
I feel like Hora is the one who cares less about what she wants in terms of like trying to do it right that way. I think she's the one who's literally going, I'm moving this pawn here.
Yeah.
I'm moving this pawn here. Whereas I feel like Schwartz does care a little bit more, and then some sleeves though. Yeah, and oh no, what's the name of the other? Wool. Thank you. Wool is too into the game. You know what I mean? Like he's too invested.
He's scary. I feel like he's like Children of the Corn scary.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you for that. Also, like it's. Like, what happens if you have to keep adding characters to this chart?
Yeah, what are we gonna do? And when are we gonna get him back? I want him back. Tsukasa.
I was thinking about that when I watched this episode. He literally like, listen, I'm gonna leave your show for a bit, and when I come back, I hope you get everything sorted out.
Hey, get that time travel out the dumpster, and let's fix this shit.
Because it's funny, I really was thinking that today too. Man, what? Is Tsukasa coming back?
Man, Tsukasa really saved the show. Oh!
Super chat!
Anthony Davis with 2 eyebrows says, it makes me wonder how the Jackers got the powers.
Actually, I want to ask that question. for everyone involved.
How did you get your powers?
How did you get your rider belt? Who made the time singers? You know? Who gave you those fancy jackets?
The world may never know.
Oh man, no, they better start answering these questions.
You can't even answer time travel yet.
Touche.
So yeah. So I mean, there's not much going on in this episode. We got a little background on Quiz and his motivations. You know, the way they do these two-parters, the second part is gonna
be the
really
real
hit.
What do you think about Quiz's deal? Why he decided to travel back in time, and what his mission is?
It makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
It's interesting, right?
He lost his mom, or his mom's hurt, and he wants to kind of make sense of it all.
Yeah,
It's kind of like. Honestly, that's real world shit.
No, I agree. I think that's a pretty clear motivation for me that I'm intrigued by, and to see where they play it off in the second episode.
The real thing is how like sick and messed up is another Waz. Where he's just he's like, oh, you want to do this? Well, let me just throw you into the mix. He's really a monster.
No, another.
And he does it in such like a nice way, and he's kind of like polite about it, but he's kind of a dick.
No, he is. He is. And the fact that like even there's that bit where like after Hora does the I'm gonna have you rider kick each other, like he comes in and then pushes her aside.
Yeah.
And he's like, and she's like, what was that?
Yeah. So it's definitely fun. So anything else that you wanted to highlight from the episode?
Well, like right now, it does seem like we're in this new case, which is like power gathering. You know, getting new abilities, getting new powers. I am curious to know and wonder, like, right now, Waz has control of these future riders.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm curious to know if these future rider power-ups will be given to the other characters at some point. Will Soga or Gates be able to have access to? And
will those watches work on their belts?
Yeah, will the smartwatch work on just regular? Probably not.
Producer Nagami's mad because he has to buy a new belt to play with new watches.
But I'm mostly intrigued with the possibility and wondering, actually, like, well, White Waz can turn into a rider, but can Black Waz? Will he ever?
I don't like these names.
I hate the names, too. I just want to call him Waz and another Waz. Yeah. Or as I saw Uke Senpai, like, I want to call our Waz, and then this new Waz, Hipster Waz.
Okay.
But like, yeah, no, like, does the Waz that we've been following, will he become a Kamen Rider?
He has to.
Right? I feel like it's kind of a disappointment if he doesn't. You know?
He definitely has to. So, what would you rate this episode?
Out of 5 watches?
5 watches.
I will give this a 2.5.
On board with that. 2.5.
Don't forget to tell us your audience score, though. Please let us know.
2.5.
2.5. Hey, it's watchable. Got, there are things about it.
Well, we're going to wait for what they rate it. But, yeah. Are you excited for the next episode?
I'm intrigued to see whether the storyline is going to come and how they're going to wrap it up and what other future writers we're going to be seeing.
I'm still more excited for the closing of Lupat.
That's fair. That's fair. And of course, after Lupat is done, we will then have to discuss the miniseries that's coming up, which is the Super Sentai battle.
Ooh, is that up already?
That will be after Lupat. When Lupat's wrapped, we will then we'll cover it because it'll be show. Yeah. The show it'll be the show that's going to fill in between
20-minute episodes.
There will be 20-minute episodes, and it will be the miniseries that will fill in time before we try out the new Sentai team.
Did I see a screen or a new picture of a 6 Ranger?
For
the new Super Sentai?
Possibly. Yeah. They're really busting those out. Oh, we got Super Chat!
Super Chat! Toku Kid says, is the future prophecy actually another Waz? Interesting. Well, let's go to their ratings before we head out. The Blur says 2. By the way, I should watch Kamen Rider Build Heisei Generation's final movie out of 5. Anthony Davis with 2 eyebrows says 3.5. Umika 2 out of we'll watch with part 2 out of 5. What do you think about that? What do you think about waiting like a week and watching it together? Do you think that it's a good idea?
I think so. I mean, what about you?
I think it's a good. I feel like. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to just do half. Layla says this shows because so much stress and confusion, and I don't watch it out of 5. Thank you, Layla, for that. Also, can't wait for Ryuki out of 5.
Okay. Ryuki's gonna show up in this in the Kamen Rider Jet.
3.8. White Waz walks into a show out of 5, and Deck at 3.5 out of 5. So we're pretty close.
We're pretty close.
You guys. is there anything else you want to add to?
I think right now, yeah, like with Lupin Ranger kind of wrapping up, we're kind of in that weird, oh man, the show's done. The show's going to be over, and we're going to see a wrap-up of a story. Whereas we're still in the middle.
Yeah.
Or even middle. We're in the early period
early,
still.
19?
Yeah, of Kamen Rider. So we're in this weird, like, we're finishing one, but the other one's still kind of kicking. And
Why do you think they never have them, like, scheduled, at the
same time? Maybe, I don't know. Like, part of me almost feels like they want to, like, kind of, like, get different excitements for different shows at different time periods. It's like, if you're excited for a writer show in October, we want you to be focused on the writer show, not the Sentai show that's also opening up in October.
But it's like an emotional roller coaster as far as, I'm having fun with this, not so much with this,
It is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
You guys, thank you so much for joining us on your Saturday night. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys for the super chats, Anthony Davis, Toku Kid. Thank you guys for joining us. Be sure to comment on THS hashtaggers what you think those collection pieces are. And we'll be back next week.
We'll be back next week.
If you are in the Southern California area, tomorrow, hashtag show is going to be over at Pasadena Comic Con. Going to be having a panel. So if you guys are there and you want to hang out and meet, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. So you guys, thank you so much for joining. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to get up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
Bye, guys.
Bye.